So I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I know this video, the series of videos with G. Edward Griffin and Yuri Bezmenov has been making the rounds, getting a lot of views, going viral, as they say. This video was filmed in 1984. Now, there are a lot of people, even myself for a while, wow, this guy's, he's a sage. He predicted the future. Not really. He had the playbook. It's like, okay, I'm reading my car manual and it says oil change every 3. Oh my God, in the future, we're going to have an oil change. He had the playbook. He was KGB. He was a defector to Canada. And he was planted, to give you the short story, he was a plant in India. And he was there to infiltrate and do Soviet Union stuff in India. And what he discovered was a lot of the people he had dealt with, the Indians, were marked for termination. And he was like, wait a minute, why? Why would this be? He had the list of people that were going to be terminated by the Soviets in the event that the Indian government was taken over by the Socialists. And so he said, nah, I've had enough of this. Skedaddle, went to Canada, and so on and so forth. He defected. He had a radio show, I believe, on the Canadian Broadcasting Company Corporation. And he was taken out of that because the Soviets complained, because he was... I'll put some links below so you can, see what the hell I'm talking about. But he's talking in 1984 about the playbook. This is how the Soviet Union intended to demoralize, destabilize, and take over a country without even firing a shot, right? No war, too messy. We don't need that kind of thing. What we're going to do is do the slow march through the institutions. Frankfurt School. Now, hamster, you're just a conspiracy guy. Am I? How do you explain then how we are here where we're at today? We've got a cohort of people, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a chunk, that actively hate the United States. We were founded, based on the 1619 Project, on S-word. The very basis, the foundation, the DNA of this country, based on that. And since we have that in our history, we need to redeem ourselves somehow. I mean, not that we fought a civil war or 13th Amendment, Abraham Lincoln. None of that. Got rid of the Jim Crow stuff, got the Civil Rights Act. No, it's not enough. We've got to take down the system. How many times have you heard this lately? Well, we just got to take down the system because we have systemic this, systemic that, and all lowercase w men are privileged and oppressing everyone else. It's got to change. The patriarchy, which is code for capitalism. Now, what do you think these people want to replace that with? Anyone? Equality, equity, equal outcome. We need socialism. Or some form of it. Like, well, it's Norway. Look at them. Everything's great. They have free childcare and maternity leave for a year. And oh, it's fucking fantastic. Well, the country of Denmark, the premier comes out and says, excuse me, we're not a socialist country, okay? We got a generous welfare system. We have a lot of taxes. We support all of these programs. We're not socialists. See, with a massive misunderstanding, perhaps intentional, of these young people out burning down Portland for the last 3 months. We need socialism because it's better, it's fair, it's social justice. It's all of this bullshit. It's not going to happen. See, for you see, when and if the socialists take over the government of the United States and implement all of these great programs, this utopia. Still not going to be enough, though. Because what these people protesting and burning shit down, we'll find out they don't get everything they want. I want this and I want free this and okay. What they'll discover, they will trade free for their freedom. See, we hear it all the time. Well, there aren't enough women in STEM. There aren't all these programs. Think about how you would get there. How would you get 50% of engineering students female? Let's say you wanted to start next spring or fall, whenever the next semester is. How would you do that? You would take 30% of women who enrolled in college, freshmen, fresh women, and say, oh, you want to take gender studies. You want to do medieval basket weaving. Okay, sorry, you're taking engineering. I don't want to. Well, that's too fucking bad. We have a quota. We need 50% female in engineering. You are the chosen one. You're going into engineering. Would that be acceptable? Forcing people to do things they don't want to do. Because you see, that's what the Soviet Union was all about. Yeah, you got a free apartment. You got a free car. You got a job. You got bread. Here's the problem, though. You didn't have a choice. You couldn't determine where you wanted to live or what car you would drive or where you fucking worked. The government told you, hey, Johnny boy, you're going to live over here. This is the car, and you will work at shoe factory number 45. But I really don't want it. Can you spell gulag? Do you see? Free for freedom. Need to make your choice. Okay? I want to be free to choose what I want to do with my life. My body, my choice, right? Women, fembots, yes? My body, my choice. You want a Soviet-style regime in the United States for equality. That's what you really want. The government's going to tell you what you can do with your life. Oh, no, unacceptable, is it? You mean currently, if you wanted to go into engineering, you could, but you choose to do what you want with your life. I know. It's crazy. Anyway, let's get to Yuri Bezmenov, and let's talk about subversion.
In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
Here's the problem, Yuri. Yuri has passed away. I think he's been gone for 15, 20 years. There's no will. We could educate a new generation of patriotic Americans who love their country and all that. There's no will. You see, it's gone too far. The people he's talking about are the people from the 60s, right? Half-baked intellectuals, dropouts, whatever, right? These people are still in power in academia and in media and in government and some other places. You can't just educate a new generation of young people about the greatness of America, even with its flaws, still a pretty good place to be, if there's no will. And there's no will because the people from the 60s and their children and their grandchildren are in charge. A majority in colleges are radical lefties. You can't expect them to teach kids about the benefits of being in the United States when all they believe is the United States is the worst thing that's ever happened. How do you get around that? Well, you don't.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and
Yes.
who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice.
He said social justice, 1984. Y'all think it's a new concept. Social justice warriors. No. Nope.
Obviously, they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people.
Yeah, because it turns out that they're not going to be the ones in power. I know. The brown shirts on the street think they're going to be the ones in charge of things. Oh, my God. They don't future well, do they?
And the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people.
No. You see, troublemakers are good for one thing, to cause trouble, to bring in the new regime, to topple capitalism. Once that's done, they are no longer useful. But they're still idiots. And of course, they're going to rebel against, wait a minute, I thought I was going to be in charge. Where's my free shit? Can you spell gulag?
They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents. Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda.
In case you didn't know about Jane Fonda, she was very much against the war in Vietnam. Thank you to our soldiers who fought that war. The idea was to stop the spread of communism. I wonder why so many lefties were against that idea, calling our soldiers, our fighting men and women, baby killers, murderers, spitting on these men and women when they came back from this conflict. They were evil. Why do you think they didn't want this stop to the spread of communism? Does anyone have any ideas? 57,000 Americans died in Vietnam. And the ones that returned were treated like garbage. By who? Who would do that? The lefties.
For being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality.
Oh, by the way, Jane Fonda posed on a tank. A North Vietnamese army tank. Just to show you where she's coming from, okay?
This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't future. It's going to be a paradise. Everyone's going to get free health care and free this and free that. But your freedom, well, see, my body, my choice. Oh, man, are they going to be pissed when the government tells them where they can live, what they can drive, where they can work, etc. Do you want that? You look at the Scandinavian countries, yeah, they've got a lot of free shit and all that, but they don't tell you where you can live. They don't tell you you have to take engineering. They don't tell you you have to work at Shoe Factory 47. It's still mostly free. The Scandinavian countries are a generous welfare states. They're not socialist. But go on, Yuri.
The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already.
You can say that again. Holy shit.
For the last 25 years. Actually, it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success.
Yeah. Yuri Andropov was the Soviet premier, the big cheese, in the late 70s, early 80s. In case you don't know, Soviet Union, Soviet Socialist Republic. I know. It's paradise.
Most of it is done by Americans to Americans.
Yeah.
Thanks to lack of moral standards.
And I think what he means here, moral standards, just regular morality. I don't think he's talking about any, S stuff or whatever. He's just saying, just treat people nice, be good to people, and have a moral standard that you live by. A lot of that has been missing for a very long time in the United States. Not among everybody. Most Americans that I've met, and I've been all over the country, good, decent human beings. Problem is, you get these weirdos that are protesting. You get these weirdos that are in the media, in academia, in government, that have none of that. And they make fun of people who do, because we're Neanderthals.
As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore.
Does this sound familiar? Pick your topic. Wage gap. You've got uppercase B men being killed by police by the thousands every day. And when you point out that these things are lies or cherry-picked statistics, try to talk to someone who believes in this crap, and you'll see exactly what it is. We don't need facts, we got fifis. I feel it.
A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him.
Are we seeing anything like that today, guys?
Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization.
When the military boot crashes his balls, then he might understand. Are these peaceful protests enough of a military boot to the balls for people to start to understand what the fuck is going on? I'm pissed. I love this country. We have flaws. We have a lot of good things, and we can fix the things that are flawed. We can do it. We're Americans, for Christ's sake. We're Australians, or we're English, or we're Scottish, or we're Hungarian. We can work together in our countries to fix the shit that's bad. It's never going to be perfect. For God's sake, we're humans. We're imperfect. We're flawed. We have biases. We have certain segments of society that are R-wordist or are S-wordist. Yes, there's no question there are some cops that are R-ist and they go out and they shoot. We can fix this. Just because your house needs a paint job, or your house needs new windows, or your house needs new carpeting, do you tear the fucking thing down and build another one instead of fixing the problem? I don't want this to progress where I think it's going. I think we're on the precipice of something no one wants. Do I think it's too far gone? Do we need to scrap it? I don't think so. I think as long as we understand the country that we have here, the Constitution, the laws, the people, we can pull the splinter out of our eye. We can do it. The problem is half the country thinks we can't. We're getting to the point where something I don't even want to contemplate is looking more likely. I'll put the link below. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.